Hey everyone, Politigun here. Last time I talked about how limiting magazine capacity is unconstitutional. Today I want to expand on that a bit and show just how plain silly it can really be. So here is a PMag made by Magpul Industries for the AR-15 and various other weapon systems that fire the 5.56 and 2.23 cartridge. It's one of the most popular magazines on the market today, with both the military and the shooting communities. In fact, it's so popular with the military that when a regulation that only allowed standard GI magazines to be used was put into effect, the military community immediately expressed its disdain for that regulation, and that regulation was quickly reversed. The PMag is popular for a couple of reasons. The first is its reliability. I've yet to have a feeding malfunction in my AR that was caused by the magazine. There are reports of service members overseas putting up to 40 PMags through their assault rifles with no malfunctions whatsoever, with the exception of putting in some CLP every couple of magazines to keep the lubrication up and running. The other reason why the PMag is so popular is because of its durability. Now, I haven't tested this myself, but there are reports of service members overseas rolling over these things with vehicles, and these things are still able to function afterwards. I haven't tested it myself, but who knows, maybe I'll try that out in a future video. This magazine holds 30 rounds. Oh yeah, it's definitely way above that 10-round limit that the Obama administration wants to enforce so much. Okay, so now that we've established how awesome the PMag is, you might say, that's incredible. It must be really complicated and intricate to make and is super expensive. Well, guess what? It isn't. It's really just a spring, a few pieces of plastic, and it only costs $20. I'm going to take the PMag apart now and show you just how simple this little piece of technology really is. So the first thing you want to do is at the bottom of the magazine is this little lip right here. You want to press down on it and you just slide the base forward. You want to keep your finger over the plate of the spring, otherwise it's just going to go shooting out after you slide the base off. So as you slide it off, you hold the finger over it like this, take it off, and out comes the spring, and out comes the rest of it. Here's the magazine follower. This is all one piece. Here's the body of the magazine, and as you can see, it is just a plastic box. That's all there is to it. To reassemble it, you just reverse the order. Make sure the follower is facing the correct direction. You just slide it on in. Hold the bottom of the spring down with your finger. Slide the base back over it, and it just snaps right into place. And that's all there is to this PMag. It's really just a plastic box with a spring and a couple other pieces of plastic inside it. It's a very simple piece of technology. Here is the M&P 9mm magazine that you saw in the previous video, and I'm going to go ahead and take this apart too. You're going to notice that it's very similar to the PMag. Most magazines are constructed pretty similarly. To take this one apart is a little bit different. You'll want to take a small implement like a screwdriver, and there's a tab under here. You just press underneath it, or press it in, slide the base out a little bit, otherwise the spring's just going to go shooting out. And you go and set aside your screwdriver, hold your finger over it, slide the base off, and out comes the spring. Here is the base plate of the spring. That comes off separately as opposed to the one in the PMag. That one stayed affixed to it. Set that to the side, take the spring out, and that's all there is to it. This is just a metal box. A spring with a magazine follower, another piece of plastic to hold the spring in place, and the base of the magazine. It's very simple. To reassemble it, you just reverse the order, place the spring back in, put the base of the spring on that, and then you take the base of the magazine, replace it, and you won't need the screwdriver to replace this. It will just take it apart, and it just snaps back into place, and it's back to normal. That's all there is to the M&P 9mm magazine. This is why restricting magazine capacity is so absurd. There are millions of these things already in circulation. But there's no way to get all of them because there isn't a registry of who actually owns them. The only people who would actually turn them in are the law-abiding. So if there was a magazine ban, the only people who would follow it would be the good guys, and the criminals would have an advantage. It would be open season on Americans, and resourceful criminals would be able to manufacture their own magazines with 3D printers. Someone made a 1911 with a 3D printer just a few weeks ago. It would be absurd to think they wouldn't be able to make a magazine themselves. The gun grabbers aren't using their brains, guys. They only want an easily controlled population. If gun restrictions truly worked and kept crime down, then explain the crime rates in Chicago and Washington, D.C. Write your representatives, let them know what your stance is on this issue. It's very important. Join Armed Citizens United. I talked about them in a previous video. I'll provide a link for that website down below as well. And I'll also provide a link to an article about the 3D printed 1911 that was made a few weeks ago. It's a very interesting read. Also, check out my Facebook page at facebook.com/Politigun. I'll be posting quick updates about upcoming videos and various news articles that I find relevant to this issue. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Stay strong and stay vigilant.